and good morning from sunny California. I'm in my studio running on time today, so it's feeling pretty cool to actually be on top of things a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and get some stuff set up here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. We are back in summer nights. I get this adjusted for full screen. Gonna be coloring more mushrooms in our Mario theme. See my little bee, Mario, right here. Using my Kohinoor woodless, they're the Progresso pencils, which I absolutely adore. I think for price point and use that they are great, excuse me, for use. Getting all here, almost done setting up. There we go. I can see if we have any comments coming in now. Okay, if I go full screen. I'm trying to do this on my computer today rather than doing it on my iPad. So there, got that up. So we've done quite a few mushrooms in here, and I printed up my list so that I can show you guys on here what I am coloring. So a little bit easier on that. We've done the basic power up, the One Life, the poison mushroom, the mini mushroom. We did the boo mushrooms and the bee mushrooms. So let's see here. We've got these two left. We haven't done a mega mushroom. We haven't done a spring mushroom. Let's see here. So there's the mega. There's the spring. Don't look like propeller mushrooms. That would be kind of fun, but they don't look like that to me. We haven't done a rock mushroom yet. They don't really look like rock mushrooms. And my page I'm working on in the front to kind of get ideas for this one, there were mushrooms that look like rocks. I think I'm gonna color those in the yellow and red right here, like the mega mushrooms. So that'll kind of give it, we'll just have these little dots right here be the red, the rest will be yellow. And that'll help tie in with these mushrooms down here too, I think quite a bit. Then we've got all the flowers, we'll be working on those a little bit later. And then we'll have a lot of fun with some of these bits and pieces here too. Been deciding what baddie, because I think that it would be fun to have this be one of the bad guy ideas. So I was like, is it a Koopa? Is it a Goomba? I don't know exactly which one it is. I feel like I'm talking another language here with all these, but all of the fun little bits and pieces on this. So that's where this is today. Maybe we'll get to a couple of these flowers. I'm pretty sure we will, because these two mushrooms right here won't take too long, and we gotta do these two stalks. And we'll be doing it this similar to the way we did that stalks. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna zoom in the camera so that we can see a little bit better. Sorry if I shake a little bit here. I'll stabilize it for the final one that goes up for people to watch later, but the way my tripod is, I can't make it not shake if I'm gonna zoom it. So I've got a new phone, so hopefully this one won't die. My other one was experiencing some major battery issues, which was not fun to deal with. So I think that's got it zoomed in as much as I can get to get both of these guys. I'll scoot it over this way just a little bit. So one of the great reasons for using my progressives for this is there aren't that many, so without being able to put in post with editing this, I can't put in my colors underneath. This keeps it pretty simple too for you guys to know what I'm using. So we're going to start with number 13. And number 13, if you want the name on this one, is just dark yellow. That's pretty easy. And I'm just gonna start up here. We'll come in. And we're gonna do just a simple standard gradient on this, where we're gonna start along the outside edge and then make it a little lighter as we go in. I'm pushing fairly firmly out here as I go around, and I'm gonna do this for each one of these sections in here. So we are going through a little mini heat wave today. So I've got the house closed up because I can't run the air conditioner because it sits really close to where I film and it's crazy loud. So hopefully we close the house up before it gets hot. It's supposed to be over 100 degrees. So we're under the fire watch and heat advisory, all of that fun today. It's never a dull moment. Hopefully this week will be a little more exciting. Last week we were doing the boo mushrooms, and coloring white is not that exciting to watch just because it doesn't have a whole lot of presence, and it won't show up a whole lot until we go in and put it in the background, and then that white will just pop. So I'm just gonna, going back in here, I'm gonna do just a light color in, and this helps the next lighter yellow really grab in. And I'm probably going to go back with the yellow ochre to deepen a couple of shadows on this guy. And we're just going to give him a yellow stalk too while we're at it. Doing this little edge right here will help it make look a little more round. Now I'm going to end with the regular yellow, or light yellow. It is number 1 in this set. I really love the way these feel and the way you can use them. They're a very nice surprise because you don't expect it. Looking at them, you think, oh, they're just crayons. No, they work just like pencils. One of the cool things is if you're really disciplined with these, you can save your shavings and use them like pastels and rub them in for a background. I would have to be really disciplined. I am not good about emptying between colors. So my shavings would end up being this crazy mix of all of the colors, and I would get a really, really ugly shade. Now we're just gonna come in with the white. I'm pressing pretty firmly. This one as I go in. Right now. And I'll use it to white blend. That doesn't have a whole lot of definition. That's the hard thing with yellows, is getting definition. So now I'm going in with the ochre, the light ochre, that's number 21 in the set. I was not super careful with mine, so they are broken, and so I do have a lot of pieces. Also, the other day, I completely spilled the tin all over the floor, so a couple more broke, which made me sad, but it is. But using the little pieces, actually, it's pretty comfortable, the control you can get with them. The bigger pieces are easier to sharpen than the sharpener. So it's a trade-off. I hope that wherever you are having a great Monday. For some people Mondays are rough. I enjoy them. My kids are back at school, so no extra noise, no extra kind of surprise chaos ensuing from that. I do have my faithful assistant sleeping on the floor next to me, Gidget. We had her out yesterday, so she is, I think, still recuperating from all of her excitement. And this is my blender pencil. It's getting really small. I wanted to show you guys I found this. It kind of became a fun little trial to see how small I could get it. This is my previous blender pencil. So still usable. It's just kind of funny how little it got. I was having to use pliers to hold it, to sharpen it. But not wasting, using it up. I still got a little bit of use left in it. go back in now with the dark yellow again around the edges, number 13. Just really try to drag this home a little bit here. These mushrooms have been so much fun to do. I like having the theme for what I'm gonna do, and each one of these kind of makes it easier to make up my mind. Sometimes that's the hard part. You look at one of these pages and like, where do I begin? How do I pick what I'm doing? And having this little theme has helped me with that stage of things. So there is that yellow mushroom on this side. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one over here before we move over to this one. And looking at it, let's pull it back here. Looking at the shades, I think it is red. It's not an orange. That's why I wanted to see real quick looking it up. So this one is number 10. It is the red, in this series. It is carmine. It looks very pink on the barrel, and I always have to remind myself this one's the red. It kind of tricks me a little bit with picking it. So I'm gonna go in with this one. Real light. I'm pushing really hard on the edge, and I'm gonna use my vermilion to blend it in because these are, while it is red, it's kind of an orangey red. In the Mario franchise. And the carmine tends to be a little more blue or red. But if you just use the vermilion from the set, it does look, the light vermilion, it does look really orange. That's why I'm combining the two for this. So now we'll go in light vermilion right next to it, number 9. Let's see, when it blends together, it gets that really nice shade I'm looking for. And there we go, there is that. Now we'll move over here to this guy, the other power up. This is gonna be like the rainbow forest here when we're done. Part of the fun with the Mario franchise is the fact that it is so rainbow. And it's a lot of fun to watch because the colors are bright and cheerful. Going around. Like this. Same as the last one. So just taking up those edges. Yellow is a hard color to get good variation is because it is such a light color naturally, so getting the shadows in is a little more challenging. And I could go in the little blue or purple and get a little bit more in there, but I don't feel like muddying these up a whole lot. Okay, now going in with number 1, light yellow. I'd love to know if you are watching this where you are. I am in La Mesa, California, which is part of San Diego area. Kind of the beginning of what's called East County here. It's a little more deserty than the coast, a little more hilly. We're in the foothills here. It's funny, I can go, because of the hills, like if I go to Target, it can be a difference of like 5 degrees between my house and Target, temp-wise, on the really hot days. Now blend it with the blender. I don't think I didn't get the white tip here. Look at this. I'm seeing this little bug right here. I think he kind of makes me think of a Koopa, so he'll be a Koopa, but still figuring out that butterfly up at the top, what I'm gonna make him. So got time to think about it. I probably won't do him till almost last. And then now with the yellow ochre, or light ochre, number 19, I think, or no, sorry, 21. Deepening those shadows just a little bit. A little more interest on this. Okay, blend that with the yellow. Regular light yellow here, using it like a blender. Soften that in a little bit. I don't know why on that one, this one it came out a little more orangey. I don't want orange on this. I want to have a pretty good contrast between my yellow and my red. I'm going in with that carmine again. Pretty heavy on the edge, really light in the middle. Not that there's a lot of room to work with here, they're pretty tiny. And now I'm going in with the light vermilion. Blending it all together to make it an orangey, or warm red instead of a cool red. That's a good way to word that. And that has that one done. Those were really fast. Now we're gonna go back in right here and do these 2 stalks. They're not a whole lot, just right here. Make sure that I've got it in the frame. We'll do this one first, then I'll adjust the camera so that we can see the whole stalk here. I might be able to just scoot the book up. We'll try in just a second. Using my blue to start putting in a little bit of shadow. I'm using my number 6, which in this is called light blue. And it just really helps to put in shadows using a blue like this, especially with flesh tones. Kind of helps tame the orange out of it. You see just that teeniest bit right there, and I'm super, super light going in on that. Now I'm gonna come in with the ochre, again, number 21, light ochre. And blend those 2 together. It's such a gorgeous combination. It's surprising because first you would think, and then just really lightly in the middle. There, just a hint on the back here because this is kind of hidden back in here. I'm gonna press a little harder. I'm gonna deepen this just a teeny bit with a super, super light use of my natural sepia. This is really dark color, but I think it really hits home the shadow. I'm just gonna kind of lightly touch those there. I got a little more firmly right there underneath where the, don't know what part that is. It's kind of where the stem comes in to where the cap starts. I'm sure that's not the technical term. It has been a long time since I took a biology class. Oh. Okay, so there's that one. I'm gonna clean off my blender real quick. Coming in here, I don't want to make these really orangey. I'm just gonna really bring these guys together with my blender pencil. Also helps to push it into tight corners. There's one done. I'm gonna adjust this so I can come over here to this mushroom and let's see if I've got it all in the frame. It looks like I do, because I'm gonna end it right here at this flower, because down here's got a whole lot going on. So I'll simplify that just a little bit. So going back in with, starting with that number 6, the light blue. Oh, you missed the orange red mushrooms. That is back, it is up on the channel. It is video 2 is where I did those mushrooms. So you can go back and catch up. They're all up and on. These are in the playlist, my Summer Nights playlist too, so you can find them quickly there. So they are up on the channel, so you can go back and catch up if you want. They were super fun. I did the orange, red, and the green together. That green one up there that looks a whole lot like a frog to me. He makes me happy. That bright, bright green right there. Finishing this up here. We should be getting to some orange red here again with these fire flowers in a few minutes, assuming the live stream still goes well, everything works like it's supposed to. I will get to it. So we're gonna be live streaming till 11 today. So my goal is to have each one of these just be an hour. That dark, or that light ochre. Right here. Pressing pretty firmly on the edge with this. Especially down here, this mushroom is in the shadow. I'm gonna maybe right through there. That's where I'm gonna end that one. These mushrooms kind of disappear, so it's hard to know where to stop the stem and figuring out how far down do you go. So back in now with 23, the sepia. Super lightly. Thinking about where shadows might fall from the mushrooms in front of them. Or flowers. Okay, now in with the blender. Oh, I'm throwing my pencils around today. get that to the edge here. The beauty of the blender, it can help get your colors into those tight spaces where sometimes it's hard to get with a pencil. And remember, if you go out, I love my little eraser pencil that I have because it cleans up, and this paper is absolutely great for erasing. Some books aren't as friendly with that. These Hanna Karlzon ones are great for erasing, so I love being able to go back and fix my little mistakes very easily, especially like when red gets out. It can be a little bit difficult. So we're gonna go ahead and next go in with these flowers here. I think I'm gonna make these two ice flowers because they're up here by the red. This guy's a question over here, and so these, which color I'll do here, but these right here for sure are gonna be fire flowers. So we will go in and start with those. Now, if you don't know what a fire flower looks like, let me pull one up over here for you. This is the new version. The older ones had a little bit more like this shape, so, and the colors were actually reversed on it a little bit, so figuring these out now with the colors where they are gives you a little bit of leeway. And I'm gonna be using yellow, orange, and red. Gives myself 3 colors to work with. These center bits right here on the flower will be yellow. These are gonna be orangey red, and then these right here are gonna be red red. So I just kind of give you the idea of where we're going. Actually, it's gonna be more of a true orange out here with those being red red there. So just an idea on that. We'll actually be doing these, and then we'll do the ice flower, which is these guys, and the same idea, just in blues. So we'll start with the yellow because I really don't want to get my other shades in, like stuck in there. Not stuck in there, but to have them bleed and it's easier, I'm gonna sharpen my yellow, get it really nice and tight here. I'm starting with the darker yellow, which, just to remind you, is number 13 in the set. Nice sharp point on it, ready to go. And I like my stapler, 2-hole. We're gonna be just going down here right at the base. Give myself a nice dark yellow down there in the base. Then bring it up. I'm gonna tighten, or sharpen this one too, so it's really ready to go with this yellow. This is the light yellow, number 1. And I'm not going to the very edge. I'm leaving that little tip up there white. And it's gonna look really cool when we come in with the darker color to have that white up there just popping against these. I'm gonna sharpen my white here, get it really nice, good point on it. Ooh, that's a pretty point. Now we're going up, blending it all the way to the tip there. Okay, next we'll go in and do the orange flowers. Now the way I'm gonna blend these out is I'm gonna be starting darker here, and rather than going around the edge, I'm just gonna do a simple kind of gradient fill out rather than going around to shadow these. So it'll be lighter on the outer. You know what? Let's go the opposite. We'll start darker and come in and make the middle a little lighter. And then that way our red dots right here will really pop. We're gonna swap that. So sharpen this guy up. This is the light vermilion. I'm gonna start out here. I'm just going a little lighter, a little lighter. I'm gonna darken this edge a little bit more up here. And this one's kind of a petal tucked under, so we're gonna make him pretty dark down there so that he's really tucked under. hard, nice, firm pressure on the outer, then as we come in, going lighter and lighter. Okay, now I'm going to grab my regular orange right here, number 2. And we're going to start on that edge and just work and pull our color into the middle. And I'm leaving it pretty light towards the middle. So I'm going to come back in with the white. And I'll pull out a little bit more of the color there. That way I'm still keep the fact that these are fading together and that the outer is darker than the middle. So it just keeps that nice little bit of interest in there. That still could use just a teeny bit more darkening on the edge out there. I think I want a little bit darker, but not a lot. So we're gonna come in. I don't want to lose my orange on this. We're gonna hit it with just the teeniest bit of a reddish brown that is in this. This is the burnt sienna. We're just gonna touch just a teeny bit on this edge. So it stays in the orange and doesn't go red on me. Because I want those dots right in here to be the red. It's fall. This makes a really pretty fall color here. It's real subtle, but lots of subtle details add up to make a great finished piece. Now we're ready. My white is clean. White blend this together. Coming in. Now we're going to do those bright red. Drops right there in the middle. And so there is our fire flower. And we'll repeat that over here for this one. So starting in the middle. The dark yellow. And then the light yellow, blending it up. Remember not to go all the way to the top of those. And then we'll use our white to blend it all the way up. My blender pencil just to really pull those together. there. I'm gonna go ahead and start, since I learned in the last one that I liked this sepia or sepia on the edge with these. So I'm gonna go ahead and put it in to begin. It makes the blending a little bit easier. So there is that, and now coming in with the light vermilion. What's great with, when you're doing natural things as you go, the chances that all of them being exactly the same is pretty small, because you're gonna color each one just a hair different. But that's great with the natural things, because none of them are exactly the same in nature. So those subtle variations as you go actually kind of help your piece. Now in with the orange. Number 1. My family's been playing a lot of Breath of the Wild, so I thought about doing a couple of Legend of Zelda themed pages too, especially considering the number of faces that are in this one, and that gives me a little bit of direction as to how to go with those faces. I don't do people a whole lot, and I'll be honest, the faces really intimidate me quite a bit, going and doing. Look at the happy orange. And we could have done these a little more bright, but this helps them to stand out against the red mushrooms and not just be the exact same colors all over again. I think help the piece. As a whole, helps the eye to sort out what's going on. That's kind of what coloring does. It takes a black and white image, and adding that color helps it, like, make sense of what what the eye is seeing. Just to help get the red into those little tight spaces there. So there are 2 fire flowers done. Let's see, what time are we at? We got 20 more minutes. We got a ton of time. Let's see, where else do I want to put a fire flower? I'm gonna put one over on this corner. So I'm gonna move my page here. I've gotta wait for the stream to catch up so I can make sure I am on camera. I'll come back just a little bit, because this is gonna be a fire flower here. And I think all the rest, the other 4 will be ice flower. Oh, we got a guy down here too. So we'll get both of those 2. I'll scoot it up just a little bit. So we'll have, these 2 will be fire flowers, and then the rest of them will be ice flowers. This one was hiding from me down here. Oh, wrong one to start with. Sepia, number 22. I'm waiting to do the leaves because the leaves on all of these are going to be the same leaf. And it's going to end up being very similar in the greens to what we used for that green mushroom, which is really bright and happy, and it's a lot of fun to do. So it'll be our fun in a little bit to get to. There's the sepia, light vermilion, number firm, and then lightening up as we come in. Oh, I'm realizing I just messed up. I should have done those center pieces first, and I just colored one by accident. Lost track of my order as I'm going. After I do this one, I'll come back in. We'll go do the middles. I accidentally hit that right there with the vermilion. So let's go in now. The dark yellow. This one had a lot of stamens in the middle. Then regular light yellow. I'm not going all the way to the edge, leaving that edge there. Still deciding what to do for the stalks on the mini mushrooms. They're the blue ones. So many choices with these. So let's see, mini mushroom, does it have the flesh tone stalk? Yes, it does. So I'll probably come back in because looking at these, looking at my picture, see they've all got a flesh tone stalk, except for this one. So I should have done these in flesh tone then. That one has a yellow and the boos have the white. So, oh well, my interpretation. Okay, now to go in with the blender pencil and really work those in. I want to make sure that this yellow, especially these lighter colors, are really well burnished because I'm going to do a pastel background with this, and I don't want it to bleed into especially the paler areas because that is something that can happen when you're doing that. These, I'm just going to make those orange in there. Here we come in with the orange. But yeah, with the bleed, it shows up a lot more, especially with the whites and the yellows, than it does elsewhere. And I'm not, like I did with the yellow, especially in these areas where I've got a big area, I'm not going all the way in with the orange. I'm leaving a little bit of it white. When I come in and use my white on it, it'll pull a little bit of the orange in with it as it goes. That just really helps. Get a good contrast between a darker edge and that lighter middle. And while it probably would have been light in here, I wanted to make sure that I had a contrast between the yellow there and the orange. So that's why I did the darker in there. Oh, I've been putting my pencils back in the wrong spot. Hold on here. So now in with my vermilion, or not vermilion, carmine. So hopefully you can tell a little bit of difference with the video quality today because I've got a new phone. It should have a better camera than my previous one. My old one, the battery was just dying. I would have, and it didn't make any sense when it would die because some days I would have 30%, other days 90%, and it would just choose to say, I'm done now, and shut off. I could be in the middle of typing a text or trying to get directions somewhere. Actually, the first time it died was right after we'd moved here, and I was trying to take my son to one of his things, and it died, and I had no idea where I was, and that was a little bit unnerving to try to get that all figured out. Dark yellow here. I had no idea where I was. We didn't have cell service. It was a bit of an adventure, and I was already super stressed from the move. I don't know how many of you guys have undertaken a large move, but it is, even if you don't have a lot of stuff, and it's not that you have headaches with having to unpack or anything, just the stress of being in a new place, not knowing where you are, trying to make sense of all of it, it's a stressful time, and navigating that with the kids. And so yeah, that was one of my rough days. Was being way up there. Finally, I figured out a way to get to a major highway, and we just came home. We forgot the event. There we are. Those are fun yellow bits. I'm looking forward to doing the leaves, because when we put in the leaves, it's, especially against the reds and the oranges, it's just gonna say, hey, and really pop with this. So it's a fun thing to look forward to. Going in with my sepia. Here, setting some good shadowing on this edge. One thing I've noticed, we're being in California and it's fall, I have not seen a single happy fall y'all sign. It's a little different than Kentucky. Getting in there really tight. There we go. Now in with the light vermilion. I'm pushing firm down here. And then coming later. I make my way in. If these colors weren't so similar, I would be blending in more to where you really go super, super light and you almost fade to nothing. Because these colors are so similar, they blend pretty well without having to do that ultra fine work. I come in a little bit further because this guy's in the back, so he's a little shadowed. Up there. And this lighter, this darker, that darker, right there, those little UV spaces. Here, go there, there, because those are darker areas. And there, now in with the orange. I'm not going all the way to the middle, but pretty close. Get that white little area to blend into. Also found that the reddish purple will do a good shadow as well. I like it better for the reds though than using it for the oranges, just because I want to keep my oranges really more orange and not have them be going into the reds. It's like, you know, in a video game, especially the old 8-bit ones, the colors weren't super subtle with each other. They stuck out quite a bit. And now in for the red, which is number 10, Carmine. And I am glad I swapped that, and instead of going out to lighter, went in. I think that really makes that carmine pop against it. So that has the fire flowers done. Let's go ahead and do an ice flower. We're gonna do the one right here. I think we'll do the ice flowers, and then that will call it for today. That'll be about all of our time for this. So similar ideas, but we're gonna make the centers on these because it's just all blues. And let me show you guys the ice flower again right here. So we don't have like a yellow in this. There's not another shade in here. It's just blues going from a darker blue to white. So our stamens in the middle for this one are gonna be true white because we need to be able to get that distinction in these. So we going in and doing that with this. Let's see here. I also, in practicing these, found that if I did blue for the shadow for the white on these, it really muddied up against the rest of the blue flower. It was hard to tell it. So instead of doing that, I did purple really lightly, and that helps keep them standing out versus having a blue shadow. You know, normally with whites and blue shadow really helps clean it up, but it made it hard to distinguish. So I'm going to be using a very light purple down here. And it is just the lightest of purple. I mean, I'm just barely. And if I was using a different pencil, I could pick a really pale purple. I'm just gonna go down here. If I do this with them, it kind of helps them look round. Just that real slight, see this one, I can't really see it. There we go. Real slight, very subtle, not bold. I'm gonna clean my white here by putting it in my sharpener though, because it has yellow and reds and oranges in it, and that will definitely make my white not look clean. I've got an old index card here to help scribble on. There we go, nice clean point. Or if you find it's a little darker than you'd want, and this is kind of looking a little darker than what I wanted, I'm going to go in with my eraser and remove it just a little bit. And it's amazing how we can then lighten up the color. See? Take it nice and light here. Take a little bit off my page. There we go. That has them a little bit happier there. Now it is a little purple, and that's okay. We're doing this so it'll stand off against the blue, because using the blue here it didn't work. I did that on the first page and tested it out, my other one that I play around on. And it was bad. Trust me, it was bad. So for the next two shades of blue, we have 4 blues in here. And I'm gonna show you those 4 blues. We have a sky blue, which is number 17. This is gonna be our base blue for the lighter area, which the lighter area will be the main part of that. And then we have a Prussian, which I'm probably not gonna use the Prussian on this. Prussian blue is a great one though for shadows, so always keep that one in mind when you're looking at shadows. The next one is called dark blue right here, and this is number 7. It's gonna be our darker shade. See how nice and dark that one is. And then this is light blue. I'm probably going to use the light blue just on the edge of these so that we have that little bit of gradient going in. So just a teeny bit of this light blue. A little bit goes a long way, so know that when you're going in with it. So you're just gonna go right out here. And I'm gonna do most of the gradient on this by how hard I push with my sky blue. The sky blue is a lovely color, does a lot. slightly firm, then feathering it a little bit. This one, you have to think of, for blending it, you do want to make sure you feather well and lightening. Just the corner. Okay, now going in with the sky blue, and this is a very bright, cheery blue. Great for ice. And we're gonna be firm out here and then fading in it. So firm to light. Now I'm going to use my white to blend that in. Quite a bit of white blending here. And we'll come back with the blender pencil and really bring these together, so don't worry. It's not blending 100% perfectly just yet. Just wait. I didn't have enough blue right there to pull down. I'm going to add just a teeny bit. Super, super light. The petals fade, or fade to a white shade, but not a true white. Now to go in with the blender. My blender's clean. Double check. Don't want to be blending red into this. That would be bad. This is looking great. Now to go in with that dark blue, and this is number 7. And this will be my little bits in here. And there we have our ice flower. So next, let's see, which one can I see well from here? I'm going to scoot this down just a little bit so that we can work on these two. Next, so first step is the purple. Super, super light. And it's just to get a teeny bit of shadowing. I think I went just a hair too dark right there. Take up just a little bit. Now in with the white. That. I'm going to just a little bit and take a little bit of color out again. Lighten it up. Somebody slammed their door. Okay, now in with the light blue. That's number 6. with the sky blue, number 17. All my little nubbins here. They look so... I've got a comment here, and I'm so sorry, it's in Arabic, and I wish I spoke Arabic. I use Google Translate for the comments where it's in languages I don't know. So I will translate it later, and I will then get back to you. So I do see your comment. I did once try learning Arabic just through some online stuff, and I had trouble even just getting through the first lesson. I was so lost. It's very different than English. So 10 o'clock, just for those of you wondering, this is what I'm going to try to do the live streams from here on out. I did it earlier last week to try to beat the heat because it was warm again. We had a warm spell last week at the beginning of the week. We're having one again this week. It's kind of funny. It's following the same pattern for days. And so I was trying to stream before it got too warm in here, especially with all the kids home. But now, since it's just me, the house doesn't heat up as fast. So doing it at 10 has worked out well, schedule-wise, because I had plenty of time to get ready. Oh, I should have put a little teeny bit back here. There we go. That didn't fade well there either. It's a little more blue. Faded in. I need my blender to help get into the corner. We got a couple of corners that are missed. Right there. Blender to help that out. There we go now with the dark blue. Oh, what am I using? They're so small. These are Koh-i-Noor Progresso pencils, and they're woodless. And so several of mine have broken. So I'm using, like, you can see this is the normal size, and then here are the two pieces because they're woodless. I tend to be a little rough. Yes, they do look like crayons, and they color like pencils. So it's like a happiness of both worlds with these. And actually the little pieces are surprisingly comfortable to work with. I don't know if it's because as a child coloring with crayons, I kind of got used to that years ago. But it is funny how much these look like crayons, but yet they color like pencils. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this down a little bit. So I'm in frame really well. And we're gonna go do these guys. And I'm gonna do them at the same time. So I'm gonna be, and I just broke my purple by dropping it on the ground. As I talk about that. I've had a day of throwing my pencils, so you guys just witnessed it. The purple was whole, now it's not. So if you are rough on pencils, be ready that if you use these, that these might do that to you. But they're a simple set. They come in 12s and 24s. They are a great budget choice just because they're a little bit less expensive. Great color laydown. They do have the same, their color is still an oil base, just like the regular Koh-i-Noor polycolors. So that's why you get such great color out of them, but they are very budget friendly. And You don't have to go to a specialty store to find them, even though my great store in Louisville did have them in open stock, which I loved because it helped me know that, oh, if I need to replace one, I can really easily. But they're not, oh, that's good. So going in my light with my purple here. Then using the eraser to remove a little bit, so it's a really light purple. So when I load the video up, I think, let me look real quick. I do, I have a link to them down in the description. If you look up in the description, you can go check them out. They're right there. So, now with the white, I went in and edited this. I figured I'm learning about the live stream as I'm going on. So I got my materials in the description already. My first one had my old basic. Got this pretty well done this time. So I'm hitting it with the blender. And my blender just has been used that much. Again, I showed my little blender right there because I do like to see how small I can get them and still use them. It's a silly little game I play with myself. So this is the, no, I don't need that one. I need this one, number 6, light blue. I did not do that one in white. White up here, sorry. I'm not used to doing 2 at a time. There we go. Lighten that just a little bit again. Using the eraser. Lighten this up. Okay. Now in with the light blue. And just the littlest bit out here on the edge. And then just a little bit on the edge over here on this guy. I'm gonna see your petal that's kind of going crazy right there in the background. Now the sky blue, number 17. Firm pressure on the outside. Yeah, maybe that would be a fun challenge to try to do one of these in regular crayons instead of color pencils. I don't know if with our move, and my kids being older, I don't even know if we have a pack of crayons in the house. It'd be interesting to see what could be done with just plain crayons. And blending with, oh, let's go ahead and grab this guy up here first. Getting that, I normally work in one. There we go. Actually, I'm gonna put a little more color in here. Real light colors. The white, when it blends, will pick it up. Now we'll blend with white. love the way the white interacts with blues. It just seems to make them kind of a really pretty creamy color that I enjoy. Your Prismacolor white does this exceptionally with blues. If you have one of those, I firmly recommend, even if you don't use Prismacolors, to just have a Prisma white in your toolbox, because once you start blending with it, it's like, oh, it has a lot more opacity, or opacity. I never remember which one it is for that word. And so that just creates a neat look. So if you don't have one of those in your toolkit, I recommend picking one up. There's that, and we just have one more little area and we are done for today. And the hour has flown by. We're actually a little over, it's been 13 minutes over, but I wanted to finish these in the stream. I made it a nice area to finish. So we're an hour and 15 today instead of our normal just hour. I'm putting in these dark blue centers here. Right there, and looking around, double checking. Nobody's hiding. Okay, I think we've got them all. I'm gonna zoom out, adjust my picture here so that you guys can see the finish. Sorry, the camera's gonna move because that's the way my tripod is. So there we have where we've made it to now. It is getting really bright and colorful in this mushroom forest now, which is a lot of fun, like the Mario worlds. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, as well as if you are subscribed, make sure you hit the bell icon so that you can know when I'm going live. You'll get a notification so that we can hang out together here. I'm trying to do this every Monday at around 10 o'clock. So remember, oh, also Twitter, Instagram. I also posted on Instagram about an hour before I went live, letting you guys know, having a little reminder there. You can follow me. I'm at Grace and Lottie's. Been also posting some pictures of other things I've been working on this week. Hopefully here in a little bit, I will have this guy up over on the blog so that you guys can download this as a free coloring sheet. It was my video that went up yesterday. I show you guys how you can draw your own. If you're a little impatient and don't want to wait for the sheet, you can draw that one yourself with just a ruler, like a little drafting ruler. So it's does not require a lot of fancy things, just some paper or a ruler. So remember that art happens in everyday life. Make sure you're watching for it.